to the SEC on ESPN. The 17th ranked Kentucky Wildcats looking to keep their SEC championship hopes alive. Visit Baton Rouge and the upset-minded LSU Tigers, who just beat a top 20 team in South Carolina last weekend. Kentucky 2 games out of first place in the loss column, and by the end of the night could be just 1 game. Alabama's in a fight right now with Florida. The Wildcats still have important games against Bama and Tennessee, and they're coming off an impressive road win, of course, at Auburn. And hi, everybody, Dave Pasch and Jay Williams. Jay, well, we've known all year Kentucky offensively as good as anybody. What we found out the last couple of games is defensively what they could be, and that could be a game changer.
Yeah, it's national championship good combined their last 2 games. Shocking, though, when you think about it, before those last 2 games, Kentucky's defense and scoring defense ranked second to last in all Power 5 conference schools. I mean, second to last to DePaul. But their last 2 games, you're talking about a team that is complete, and combined with their offensive skill set, there's no one, and I say no one in the country, Kentucky cannot win, excuse me. And look, and this all starts defensively for Kentucky. When you talk about them playing at a high level, look at the ball pressure by DJ Wagner. Their offense starts with their back towards the basket. Everybody's down in the stance. And look at the way he fights over the screen. As somebody that's melted towards a lot of screens as a freshman, I know the feeling. Fights over the screen, sets the tone. Look at Justin Edwards with his hands actively. Antonio Reeves on the backside, 1 foot in the paint, 1 out. And look how he plugs the roller. Janai Broom's going to roll, plugs him right there by Justin Edwards, gets up. There's a turnover. I am telling you, when Kentucky is locked in defensively, look at the numbers. First 10 games, 84 points per game on 43% shooting. Last 2 games, 61 points on 35% shooting. Their defense is the key to their championship run.
And John Calipari told us today it's about being physical, it's about being aggressive. DJ Wagner setting the tone that rubs off on his teammates. That's why defensively they've been much better the last 2. But he is curious, knowing that LSU can be physical, what the game plan for the Tigers will be and how his team will respond tonight.
You know, also, Dave, it's always the game in between the games. Kentucky coming off their most complete victory of the year offensively and defensively against Auburn. You have this game sandwiched in between a big showdown. You talk about on Saturday at Rupp Arena against Alabama, who's in the dogfight. I don't know how the game finished or not against Florida.
Shot clock is at 1. Wagner didn't even recognize it, and a turnover to start the game. Wagner had no idea the shot clock was winding down. Starting lineups brought to you by eBay. Jordan Wright scored the final 7 points for LSU in an upset at South Carolina. Will Baker averaging 17 per game over his last 5. Trey Hannibal's their point guard. He's their toughest player. He had 12 rebounds against the Gamecocks. Through the hands of Tyrell Ward, and a turnover by LSU. Transition opportunity and a slam by Onyenso in transition.
We heard so much conversation today about LSU's best defense will be their offense. Not turning the ball over and taking high-quality shots will not allow Kentucky to get out in transition.
Baker's 3 off the mark. He's close to a 40% three-point shooter on the year. DJ Wagner, Antonio Reeves, who's the 3rd leading scorer in the SEC. Justin Edwards, who missed the shot there. Same starting 5 for Kentucky as the game at Auburn. Fierro gets inside for 2. Playing his 18th game of the year. He missed 8 due to injury, and it's 4-0 Wildcats.
I like that lineup for them so much. Look at the ball pressure right there by DJ Wagner being up on the ball. And you have him spearheading the defense, and you have Onyenso really being the anchor of the defense, blocking shots like that at the rim.
Foul is on Onyenso, and that was a point of emphasis for Matt McMahon, the head coach for LSU. They want to get him in foul trouble today.
I say just those costly turnovers allows Kentucky to get out in transition, and that's where they find their lather offensively. You're going to see the drive right there by Thiero, just find a way to get to the basket, making it an easy bucket. And Will Baker's ability to space the floor and to bring Onyenso away from the basket will open up driving opportunities, and that's where LSU will make its due. That's what they were able to do against South Carolina. Just attack the paint and literally attack the rim every possession they had a chance to, which obviously Eclipse has 16-point lead and the reason why they came back.
1 out of 2 for Baker, 75% free throw shooter, grad student from Austin, Texas. Meanwhile, Florida and Alabama are going to overtime. That game tied at 85.
Ooh.
Bama 10-2. Florida's got 4 losses. Kentucky with 4. South Carolina 4 losses. Good hands by Hannibal. Out of bounds to the Tigers.
Look, LSU not having Jalen Cook, he's their leading scorer, obviously hurts them. But Trey Hannibal brings a certain sense of urgency and a passion. And Matt McMahon talked about this today in their last game against South Carolina. The way that Hannibal played throughout the entire game against South Carolina, just played with a purpose, played with a sense of urgency and passion. He's never seen a player play that hard the entire length of the game.
There's definitely a toughness he brings to the table that LSU needs if it's going to beat Kentucky tonight. They're going again at Yenso, trying to get him to pick up that second foul, and Baker gets the basket to pull within 1. First field goal for Baker. Here's Wagner driving down the lane, stripped by Hannibal. Going to stay with Kentucky.
Just going with the ISO on Baker. And what you're going to see LSU try to do is, obviously Kentucky has the size and the length, but do they have the girth? And that's what Baker's going to try to do, attack the body of Onyenso to try to get him in foul trouble.
Catch and shoot jumper is good for Antonio Reeves. Kentucky obviously has a history of having great freshmen. It's kind of interesting that arguably their best player this year, most consistent player, is a transfer from Illinois State, guy that was at a smaller school for 3 years. 5th-year senior out of Chicago, who's a Wooden Award top 20 candidate.
Yeah, they try to stay attached to that hip, but you give him an ounce of freedom, he can knock down that shot from wherever on the court.
The 3 from the corner for Tyrell Ward ties the game. Ward is 7 for his last 10 from three-point land. Reeves trying to put it on the floor and get past right. Beautiful move and finish off the window. He scored 5 in a row. Reeves closing in on 1,000 points as a member of the Kentucky Wildcats, would be just the 6th under John Calipari to reach that mark. Miss inside by Baker. Offensive rebound and put back from Derek Fountain.
When Kentucky played against the likes of Tennessee, John Calipari talked about them being out physical on the glass. And that's what LSU is going to try to do. They were able to limit South Carolina to single-digit offensive rebounds. They had 10 in the ball game. That's where they're going to make their money.
Onyenso catch, couldn't finish though. Rebound Baker. And Ward going to slow it down. Baker driving. Got it blocked that time.
Great job by Fierro coming from the weak side. So active defensively, just having active hands.
Kentucky 18-7. One of 6 SEC teams ranked this week, checking in at number 17. Moving up a handful of spots. Fierro's driving lane cut off. Shot clock at 5. Reeves again driving. Floater is good. Boys, he really improved from a year ago. Candidate for SEC Player of the Year, Antonio Reeves. Got the last 6 points for Kentucky. Hannibal penetrates, kicks it out. Baker got a good look, but it won't fall. Fierro with the rebound. Almost had it knocked away by Fountain. Kentucky looking to run. Sweet move by Wagner with the hesitation. Couldn't finish though. Out to Reeves. He'll launch and hit. 9 straight points for Reeves.
I am trying to tell you, Antonio Reeves is a special player, shooting 44% from the three-point line, but also getting to his midi game, which opens the defense up.
He's 4 for 4 to start the game, and he's outscored LSU by himself. Good look for Fountain. He's able to answer. Derek Fountain drilling the three-pointer, 33% on the year. LSU back within 2. 6 minutes gone by. Fierro, airspace, couldn't hit. And up high is Hannibal to get the board. And Hannibal's listed at 6'2". That might be generous because he's a phenomenal rebounder. Catch and shoot three on the money from Ward. Back-to-back LSU triples, and the Tigers take the lead. The juice that was there against South Carolina is here early on tonight for LSU. Drive and kick by Fierro. Edwards on the spot up. Great offense early on for both teams.
Well, the one thing you want if you're LSU, you do not want this to be a track meet. LSU can score in the 70s, but this Kentucky team is a team that can get up and down, and they can get in the 80s, the 90s.
Hannibal with the attack.
Controlling the pace of the game is going to be critical for LSU at some juncture as the game starts to settle itself down.
Edwards slip and a travel. And Edwards a little shaken up. Reeves, a hot start, 4 of 4, 9 points. But Tyrell Ward with the answer. And we're tied 7 minutes in.
There's a reason why Antonio Reeves is third in the SEC in scoring, averaging 19.5 points per game. Can just do it in such a variety of ways. Can do it off the dribble. You see him right there getting to his mid-range game with a little bit of a floater. And then off an offensive rebound kick out, a knockdown three-point shooter. When he gets going offensively, they are a different unit. Now you have him along with Reed Sheppard and Rob Dillingham. You talk about a three-headed monster. That's what this team is offensively.
Dillingham and Sheppard checking in for the first time. The other thing about Reeves, Jay, he's so consistent. You pretty much know what you're going to get from him each game. He scored in double figures every game but one. He's had 13 20-point games this year. For the lead, Jordan Wright hits a three. That's 4 consecutive made shots for LSU.
Jordan Wright, last 3 out of 4 games against Kentucky. He's had 18 points, 23 points, and 27 points. He is a guy that's found to get himself going against offensively a Kentucky team that is being challenged defensively. I mean, you talk about a fight. LSU is ready for a fight in this ball game.
And Jordan Burks getting some early minutes for Kentucky, just committed the foul on the screen. So back-to-back Kentucky turnovers. 4 already in the first 7 minutes for the Wildcats. Hannibal penetrates. Looked like initially he was going to slip, but he just kept the drive alive. Spinning and missing was Reed, and unable to get the putback. Free ball, and eventually controlled by Dillingham. Dillingham penetrates. Great finish off the window and a stare down of Hunter Dean.
That's what they want to see Rob Dillingham do more. Instead of avoiding contact, embrace the contact. He's a guy that should be going to the free throw line anywhere between 10 to 15 times a game with his ability to get to the rack.
Speaking of embracing, how about a guy that's probably going to be a top 10 pick, embracing his role as a guy coming off the bench, just 1 start this year?
I mean, him and Reed Sheppard, and you talk about the explosiveness of Rob Dillingham. Look at him do it off the bounce. Talk about a guy that could change gears. Well, that's an easy leg.
Lexington, they had lost 10 in a row since. And if they were to win tonight, they'd match their win total from all of last year. You think about Matt McMahon having to take over for the mess left by Will Wade, just trying to get through last year and field a team. They struggle, not just overall, but in league play 2-16. But there's some momentum. You get the big win last weekend. There's some energy in this program, and obviously the talent is upgraded from a year ago.
We had a great conversation with him earlier about how to build the program. Talked about his time at Murray State. Talked about one of those seasons in particular where he had 8 players in a rotation. 4 players were players that were built around the culture that he recruited from the time they were freshmen. The other 4 were the transfer portal. And that's how he's going to go about rebuilding this program right here. As you see the foul on Hannibal.
Yep, reaching in there, trying to strip it away from Bradshaw. That's his first and the second on LSU.
I mean, good idea to come from the weak side, but just kind of gets him there in the hand. It's the right call ultimately. But you talk about only bringing one player back from Will Wade's roster and then filling out what your entire roster looks like. And I know some guys have been able to do that quicker with the transfer portal, but about maintaining and building the right culture is what Matt McMahon has been all about.
Meanwhile, Bradshaw misses badly on the three. That's just his 13th attempt. He's made 3 on the year. LSU by 1. 11.5 remaining in the first half. Tigers with 2 wins against ranked teams this year in 6 tries. Baseline drive for Williams, cut off by Dillingham, and then the ball thrown out of bounds by Jalen Reed.
Jalen Reed just had an opportunity there to attack Bradshaw, and that's where you got to start picking up the fouls on those Kentucky bigs. And to get both feet inside the paint, go up strong with 2 hands and attack their chest. Kentucky, their bigs have the wingspans to deter and block a lot of shots. But when you talk about size and weight, that's where LSU is going to have a chance to try to bully through those bigs.
Onyenso picked up a foul early. He's on the bench right now with Bradshaw getting some minutes. Shepard with a kick to Dillingham, who's an excellent shooter. Tried to drive, got stripped. Out of bounds, knocked out of play by Baker.
I'll tell you, Dave, a good job by Hunter Dean getting over there to the weak side, take away the baseline. But how explosive is Rob Dillingham when he just catches the ball? You just give him any ounce of space, and he's gone.
A change of pace, change of direction. We saw in that drive and finish earlier.
Ooh.
Bradshaw missed the dunk after the jump stop. Well, Kentucky's gone cold after a hot start. Here's the blow by from Ward. Wild shot, but draws the foul. That's what you're talking about, going at those bigs. Foul on Bradshaw, his first.
That's how LSU, like I said, controlling the pace of the game with their offense, getting to the free throw line, taking Kentucky out of transition, forcing Kentucky to execute in the half court makes the game a little bit more challenging for them. And also try to get them in foul trouble.
Coming up on Saturday, a handful of great games for you on ESPN and the app starting at noon. You got North Carolina, Virginia at 4 Eastern time, Kansas and Texas at 6, A&M Tennessee at 8 Eastern time. Tennessee right now a game back of Alabama for the top spot in the SEC. Bama and Florida in overtime right now. And Alabama just won by 5, 98-93. So the Crimson Tide a full game up on Tennessee for the 1 seed in the SEC.
Really spectacular what Nate Oates has been able to do with Alabama and their high-octane offense considering the way the season started. But Mark Sears is one special player, and the way they play is, to me, one of the most exciting styles in all of college basketball.
Sears obviously in the Player of the Year mix in the SEC. Meanwhile, here a 13-5 run for LSU. 3-point advantage for the Tigers. Midway point of the opening half. Dillingham driving, stripped, out of bounds, off Dillingham, LSU ball. That's 5 Kentucky turnovers early on.
You know, it's great hands right there by Wright, but one of the things that Rob's going to have to work on, and Dillingham, is kind of cradling the ball when you go to the basket. That momentum, you bring the ball back a little bit. You got to learn how to keep the ball extended away from the defender so you can finish over the top.
He's getting after on the defensive end against Mike Williams right now. Spinning baseline is right into traffic off the hands of Baker, and Shepard, who is the SEC leader in steals, has it. Turn and fire by Dillingham off the mark. It pinballs to Shepard, and an alley-oop to Thiero for the slam.
Getting those 50-50 balls critical for Kentucky, and Reed just has the vision to find Thiero right at the rim for an easy lob.
7 second chance points for Kentucky. That's why they're in the game right now. Got off to a hot start. And a foul here on Kentucky on the LSU drive.
Yeah, those 50-50 balls, you just got a chance to grab them, and LSU can't. Reed ends up being the recipient, and just what great court vision right there. Just watching from the weak side, LSU falling asleep there, and Thiero being able to finish over the top.
On the other end, Wagner committing the foul, his first. 4th team foul, and free throws here for Jalen Reed. You talked about the challenges of trying to build a program. Obviously, you played at a program that was good before you got there, stayed good, obviously, when you were there as you won a championship, and continued to be good 2 decades later. John Calipari's been able to do that in terms of a consistent culture and program, despite really the landscape changing in college basketball from when you were there. How challenging is that? You got to re-recruit your players every year, and most of the time the guys are one and done.
I mean, Cal's one of the best to ever do it. He's tremendous at his job. And does he have as many championships as some other coaches? Bill Self, not yet, but there is nobody better in the game of basketball than John Calipari. And I made a comment the other day talking about comparing him to the Dallas Cowboys, not because of their inability to win championships. It's more so the way they're talked about daily in the media. Every single day, fans or people are criticizing or critiquing the way this team plays. And there's no doubt, defensively, when they are locked in, they're going to be in dogfights. But defensively, when they are locked in, combined with their offense, this team has the talent to win a championship, period.
They're a blue chip program. They're headline news every game they play.
And every time Cal talks, it's similar to Jerry Jones. It's going to get taken out of context. It's going to get blown up. That's the type of personality he has.
Speaking of blowing up, Thiero with a couple of rim rocking slams. And that ties the game at 22. Entry pass to Baker. Trying to back down, and Yenso knocked away from behind. Going to stay with LSU, 12 to shoot.
You know, just active hands, great on-ball pressure. That's what Reed Sheppard was able to do. And then, I mean, talk about a guy who's continuing to grow into his body in Adu Thiero. I mean, it's scary when you look at the size, the frame he has, his hands always adjusting to the ball. And he's going to continue to get better and better and better.
Hannibal trying to cut, shot clock at 1, and it's a shot clock violation, 30-second violation. So LSU now has gone almost 5 minutes without a field goal. Boy, we had great offense the first 6 or 7 minutes. Everything was falling, and now nobody can make a shot right now other than a dunk for Kentucky in transition. Here's Reeves, who had 9 points early on. Has not taken a shot since. He's 4 of 4 from the floor, and those all came in the first 5 minutes. Shot clock inside at 10. Sheppard, deep 3, off the mark. Rebound Baker. Sheppard still shooting better than 50% from 3 on the year.
And Jordan Wright is doing a tremendous job chasing Antonio Reeves all around the court, just staying attached to his hip, not letting him get even a space of freedom to shoot the ball.
Wright thought about the 3, instead drives, lost his footing, finds Baker though, but he couldn't hit the bunny. And now Sheppard racing up the floor. Sheppard could not finish. Hannibal got in his way and distracted him, but taken away by Reeves, and a foul on Baker of LSU. That's his first and the third on the Tigers.
Look, we knew it was going to be a dogfight. Kentucky came out. They're trying to impose their will defensively. And getting these 50-50 balls has been the difference thus far in this game. Tie ball game, but Kentucky finding its way offensively.
3.
And Seth J is missing you. He's shedding a tear right now, but the reunion is coming. It'll be 3 days. You guys will be back together again.
I know. What do I do when I'm not around my guy?
So you got Alabama up a game on Tennessee. Is Alabama the best team in the league, or is it Tennessee? In terms of going deepest in the NCAA tournament, or is it Kentucky?
I think for me, it's between Kentucky and Tennessee. I think Kentucky's, when they start defending, if they can find what that rhythm is, as you see Reeves with another baseline floater. But once again, I think there's so much room for improvement with where they are defensively, and then the way Tennessee defends. And the Dalton Connect story is just insane to me, that a player could go kind of not on the map at all last year to being a guy that's going to be considered a top 5 pick in this upcoming NBA draft. That's how talented and good Dalton Connect is.
Gillingham had a wide open 3 but couldn't bury it. And it's LSU ball. Kentucky up 2, 7-minute mark, first half.
And see, this is where you're going to have to, Rob Dillingham's going to have to get up in him. You need to continue to apply that pressure. DJ Wagner's really good at it, but everybody else needs to work on their defensive pressure as well.
Finally, one goes down. Jordan Wright gets the bounce, the first field goal in 6 minutes for LSU. Credit Kentucky's defense. Third straight game, they've been really good on that end. Reeves, his first miss. Onyenso trying to go back up, and it'll be a held ball. It will go to LSU on the possession arrow.
The level of physicality here just feels very different with the way LSU is playing. Baker just meeting him there. That's a jump ball. That's the right call. Active hands. And when you think about these guards, Hannibal and Wright, they are bigger upper body frames. They're able to bully their way to the basket.
That's a good matchup. Hannibal against Wagner. Going body to body now in the switch. Wagner's on Wright. Wagner shoving Fountain out of the way to try to get to his man. Launching the three is Wright in and out. Rebound Reeves. Tied at 24, 6-minute mark. Wagner gets into the lane. Tough angle, wouldn't fall. Rebound Dean.
Just didn't stay on balance on that shot. Continued to float to the left.
Oh, Hannibal, great move. Getting rid of Dillingham, tried to leave it for Dean underneath and gave it away. Dillingham in the open floor. Kentucky with a 3-on-2. Dillingham's pull-up three, no good. And mistiming his jump was Hannibal, so an offensive rebound for Kentucky. That did not look good, that fast break there. That alley-oop pass looked good, but Fierro wasn't able to finish it. Kentucky's missed 6 consecutive shots.
Talk about a game with pace. Barely got that ball over.
Wright using the screen. Gets into the lane, almost traveled, turned it over again. Good hands, Kentucky. Reeves in transition, hangs, missed the layup though. Neither team can buy one after both teams couldn't miss in the first 5 minutes. There is an on-ball intensity from Kentucky in the defensive end. Shot clock at 5. Wild shot from Ward, not there. Dean with a rebound, out to Wright. He's got to put it up with one on the timer. Hit the back rim. Long rebound, Fierro.
I'd like to see a team run a set, get something off action, get Reeves going offensively. He's a guy that's so gifted, or find a way to get to the rim.
Reeves is 5 for 7 from the floor. He's the leading scorer with 11 points. Floater here, won't fall. Backside rebound, Fountain.
Well, Hannibal is going to recognize that he has Rob Dillingham on him, and Hannibal outweighs Dillingham by about 25 pounds. LSU is one of the best teams in the conference at playing ISO basketball. They take him right to the block, exactly.
Kicked it out. Ward penetrates. Floater is good. LSU back in front.
A smart move right there by Matt McMahon to ISO Hannibal on the block against a smaller defender. Force the defense to collapse.
26-24 Tigers. Dillingham goes behind the back. Couldn't make the shot from that difficult angle. Was in between a bank shot. Here's Fountain. His teammate right there, so couldn't pull the trigger. Nearing 3 minutes to go here in the first half. Can LSU pull another upset? Just beat number 11 South Carolina on Saturday. Fountain penetrate and kick, and a Kentucky foul. 15 foul on Kentucky. LSU leading by 2. Tyrell Ward, who had 16 points against South Carolina. Big first half tonight.
Seth, I agree with you. I mean, when you think about Kentucky is so good when everybody touches the ball, and then there's an energy around the ball that keeps everybody engaged in the offense. Obviously, the pace of this game, we were just talking about this, Dave, is very helter-skelter, right? And that's where I think Kentucky has a chance to show a little bit of their maturation on the offensive end. by calming it down, valuing possessions. They have 4 assists and 7 turnovers thus far in this game.
And Kentucky has missed 9 consecutive shots. LSU has gone 4.5 minutes without a field goal. Already had a 6-minute stretch. Or Kentucky right now, excuse me, no field goals in the last 4.5 minutes. LSU had that 6-minute stretch earlier. 2-point Tiger lead. Reeves trying to get downhill, but the angle cut off.
LSU just doing one heck of a job defensively, staying in front of the ball and helping each other out.
Shepherd knocks down the shot, his first points of the game.
It's amazing how Shepherd predominantly always stays on balance when he's able to lift and just gets to his spots.
First make in the last 10 tries for the Wildcats. Offensive rebound by Dean. Hannibal got the defender off his feet, and that's going to be 2 fouls on Onyenso. We'll see if John Calipari will keep him in. Nope, he's going to go to the bench.
A really smart play by Hannibal to able to get the ball in the gaps here and just get Onyenso up in the air and draw the contact. This guy obviously had 10 blocks against Ole Miss, getting him out of the ball game, getting him in foul trouble, allowing your bigs to continue to try to dominate the blocks. That's how you put your team in the best position to win this game.
Hannibal missed the first free throw. Coming up on Friday night, we've got an NBA doubleheader for you with the post-All-Star break festivities getting underway in Philadelphia. Tyrese Maxey, former Kentucky Wildcat, and the Sixers hosting Cleveland, and then it's Giannis and the Bucks against Anthony Edwards and the Timberwolves, who have the best record in the West coming out of the All-Star break. You expect that?
Not really with Minnesota, but you know, Anthony Edwards has really proven himself to be one of the stars of this game and moving forward for the rest of his career. He's a special talent.
Meanwhile, on the floor for Kentucky is Ivisic. So Ivisic, who played 1 minute against Auburn, is in the game. Burks played 4 minutes against Auburn. He's been out there for 7 or 8 so far. Reeves from deep drills a 3. He's got 14 points. Half of Kentucky's total.
LSU just not staying disciplined defensively.
And then Williams couldn't catch that pass, so a turnover by LSU.
You know, Reeves is so good, such a deadly threat from outside. Gets Hannibal off his feet and just takes one dribble to the side and knocks down the 3. Super composed with how he plays offensively.
Really under control. Played a lot of games over 5 years. Started out at Illinois State. Shout out Doug Collins, by the way. Hall of Fame finalist. Nice finish by Shepherd. He's got 2 buckets here in the last couple minutes.
A big time step through right there by Reed Shepherd.
So Kentucky by 4. Largest lead for either team in a while. Good hands by Shepherd, and he's able to strip it and get his second steal, leading the SEC in that category. What a gorgeous finish by Reeves, and a timeout by LSU.
And that's what Reed Shepherd is so good at doing. Getting those steals and then finding a way for Kentucky to finish in transition. Who's going to be the player that actually dives on the floor for the loose ball? Oh, that's who Kentucky is, and that's who Reed Shepherd is.
Kentucky's made 4 straight shots after missing 9 in a row, and the Wildcats have a 6-point lead. Boy, Antonio Reeves continued to be impressed just watching him here, Jay, in person for the first time. You talked about his poise. Obviously, he's an excellent shooter, but we've seen the mid-range. We've seen him get to the cup a couple times. He's got 16 points.
Yeah, Kentucky definitely came out flat, but he was able to keep them in the ball game early. But I think what you've seen the last several possessions is just the elevation of Kentucky's defense. And Reed Shepherd, you know, Coach K used to always talk about this. The difference between winning and losing games is some players will bend over with their knees for loose balls, and the winning player dives and sacrifices their body. And that's what you just saw Reed Shepherd do in that last possession.
Vicic called for the foul, hugging Will Baker, so that's his first. And the 16th foul on Kentucky, so it'll be a side out of bounds. Final minute here of the opening half. LSU with 10 turnovers and 9 field goals, so that's a big issue right now for the Tigers, protecting the basketball. Matt McMahon, their head coach, said, if we do that tonight, we're not going to win. They're still in the game despite those turnovers. Check that. That was the 17th foul, so a 1-and-1 there. Baker missed it, but an offensive rebound. And now an open look from the corner. Jalen Reed can't pay it off with a three. Rebound Burks. About an 18-second difference in the game and shot clocks. Shepard defended by Wright. Gets past him. Into the lane. Kicks it out.
Good play.
Edwards spot up three. And it's a 9-point lead now for Kentucky.
What a reverse pivot right there by Reed Shepard. Just the vision to see the weak side and kick it over to Edwards, whose hands were ready for that shot the entire time.
10 seconds remaining in the half. Here comes the screen for Jordan Wright. And stripped by Shepard. Loose ball. Burks got it away in time. Couldn't make the shot. But still a 10-0 run by Kentucky to close out the first half. 36-27, the Wildcats in front. Antonio Reeves, spectacular first half with 16 points as we send you back to Seth and Kevin in the studio. With Jay Williams, there's Jay balancing Billis and Seth and Reese.
A lot of personalities.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, Jay, this first half, Kentucky's defense was good, maybe not at the level we saw against Auburn, but still good. And Antonio Reeves, I know there are a lot of freshmen that Kentucky has that are very good players that get a lot of pub, but maybe Reeves isn't getting enough. He was outstanding in that first half.
He was, also for LSU, look, when you have 11 turnovers in the first half and then UK is able to get 12 points off those turnovers, that's been a difference in this game. But Antonio Reeves is a special player. And when he's able to get going offensively, there's not pretty much anything you can do to stop him. He gets things off pin downs, curls, and just makes smart basketball plays. A little English off the glass, a little ball fake, gets Hannibal in the air, sidestep, knocks down the three. With 16 first half points, he is one of the key engines to why Kentucky has a lead in the first half.
10-0 run to close out the half. Third straight game that Kentucky has held its opponent under 30 points in the first half. A big paradigm shift the last few games for the Wildcats with this improved defense. We know they can score. Only Alabama and Arizona average more points per game than Kentucky. 88 points per game, but on pace for about 72, and a foul just 7 seconds in, and Tyrell Ward.
Kentucky fans have to think about this for a second. You have a 9-point lead on the road, have not played anywhere close to your best basketball defensively and offensively, and you've been able to have that lead without one free throw attempted in the first half.
Yeah, just 3 first half fouls on LSU. That's why we were stunned by the whistle 7 seconds in. 3 from the corner. Justin Edwards, just a 28% three-point shooter. 13 consecutive Wildcat points.
Well, great execution out of the half for Set to get Edwards going offensively on the flare screen.
Here's Wright trying to answer. LSU is 0 for its last 6 from deep after starting the game 4 of 6 from 3.
And Dave, you just feel like these first 5 minutes are so important for LSU because you feel like the game's on the verge of getting out of hand with the Kentucky run as you see Reeves knock down the big-time 3 in transition.
And Matt McMahon felt exactly as you did, calling the timeout with back-to-back threes by Kentucky.
Staying down in the stance and having active hands is so important for LSU here. Look to the left side of your screen. You're going to see Tyrell Ward here with his hands on his knees. You're going to see a flare screen. Look, his hands are on his knees. He's not ready to be reactive at all. Ayento with the flare screen. Edwards being the recipient off the pass and able to knock down the 3. Those are the little attention to details that you need to be ready and in the stance. Active hands, head on the swivel. LSU was not that in the opening seconds of the first half, second half.
Didn't react to Reeves either being open, so back-to-back threes for Kentucky to start the second half. So going back just a couple of minutes at the end of the first half, it was 27-26 LSU, 16 straight Kentucky points. Again, showing you why they're one of the most potent offensive teams in the country. Reeves committing a foul here, trailing Ward. That is his first.
Well, miscues defensively, losing Reeves in transition, and then having your hands on your knees, not being ready and reactive defensively. That's where a team is going to slice and dice you apart.
And Kentucky now 6 of 12 from 3. The tip is good by Fountain, and finally that 16-0 run comes to an end. foul on LSU on the other end. It's going to go on Will Baker. That is his second. Now check that, Ward, his second.
Just after a made bucket there, 3 seconds and the ball is already being attacked on the opposite end. That's how quickly, when we talked to Matt McMahon today about when you make a bucket, you got to put your head down and sprint back on defense because Kentucky is running at you quickly.
Kentucky coming off the win at Auburn, back home Saturday to face Alabama. Floater won't fall, just the third miss of the game for Antonio Reeves, who has a game-high 19 points. Obviously a ton of time for LSU. Not as high octane on offense as Kentucky, but Trey Hannibal's a guy that gets going. Gets inside for 4 straight points for LSU.
Well, he has really good speed, but he has better size, and when those shoulders get by you, he carves out space, doesn't allow you to get back into the play defensively.
Nice backdoor cut by Reeves. He draws the foul, and here come the first free throws for Kentucky.
DP, I said it to you earlier during halftime. We were trying to think of an NBA comp, and we threw out names like D. Book, Bradley Beal. He reminds me a lot of Rip Hamilton, just with his ability to move without the ball. He's constantly moving, and he's really good at reading screens, flare screens, pin downs, that little baseline cut. You take your eye off him for 1 second or you're not maintaining contact with him, he's finding ways to create space and get open.
And this is his 14th 20-point game. And he is now 4 points away from 1,000 at Kentucky. He's been here for 2 years, was at Illinois State for 3, would be the 6th player under John Calipari to get to 1,000 points. Because obviously most guys would score 1,000, but they're not around for a second year.
First class problems, Dave.
Yep. And Jamal Murray has a Fountain gets the basket, the highest scoring average under Calipari, right at 20 points per game. Antonio Reeves at 19.5. But I love that comp on Rip Hamilton. And again, you watch Reeves. He's very smooth. He's under control. And I get that we fall in love with potential and guys that are freshmen or playing overseas that we haven't had a chance to see at the college level. But here's a guy that's a terrific, proven college player who clearly has an NBA future. Fountain's three not close. Underneath to get the rebound, though, is Wright. Out to Ward. 3 on target. And here comes LSU back within 8. Fierro not ready for the pass that time. Almost hit him in the face. Here's Wagner. He averages 11 points per game, but he has not scored for Kentucky. 0 for 3. Fierro looking to drive. Misses badly. Poked out. Hannibal looking to run. Kentucky's back. Hannibal attacks anyway. Missed the layup with the left. Did everything but finish. Now Wagner coughs it up. And a foul.
They said the best time to knock down the 3 is off of an offensive rebound on its last play. Look at DJ Wagner. He's staring at the flight of the ball down here, number 21, just staring at the flight of the ball. And the LSU player just is able, unencumbered, to come get the offensive rebound, kicks it out, and they're able to knock down the 3. Those are the kind of plays that you still want to see the maturity level for Kentucky excel in the right way, finding somebody, putting a body on somebody to actually block out.
LSU on a 9-2 run. Calipari making some changes. Burks coming back in. And now a foul away from the play. It's on Reeves. Actually, second on him. Third team foul at Kentucky. Not surprised to see this fight from LSU. They were down 20 against Florida a couple games ago and had a chance to tie the game at the end of regulation. Right, deep 3. LSU back within 5, a 12-2 run. Going for the steal is Hannibal. Got the deflection. Shepard penetrate and kick. Burks pull-up jumper, no good. Rebound Wright.
Who's stopping the ball? Who's stopping the ball?
Nobody, as Wright drills a 3. Timeout Kentucky. 15-2 run by LSU.
Just going to see here on the out-of-bounds play, nobody really tagging the shooter. We talked about the numbers that Wright has had over this last 3 out of 4 games against Kentucky. And then once again, in transition, who is stopping the ball? But Wright is making buckets at the right time. LSU on a 15-2 run, and Kentucky just doing a poor job of tagging shooters. You're going to see on the out-of-bounds here, Jordan Wright just wide open and knocked down a 3. And then once again in transition, a late recovery there by Reed Sheppard. And I know everybody sprints back, but the first thing you got to do is tag who's on the ball. And these are the mental breakdowns at times a young Kentucky team has that allows a team like LSU to get back into the ballgame and have confidence that they believe they can win.
We saw it against Florida with the near comeback. They completed the comeback in their last game, down 16 in the second half to beat South Carolina. Trailed by 15 early this half and back within 2.
And what a chess match. You had Kentucky come out, knock down 2 threes to start the second half. Matt McMahon called a timeout, got his team ready back into the ball game. Let's see how Kentucky responds.
Dillingham misses from the foul line. LSU ball with Fountain getting the rebound. The Tigers can tie or take the lead. Their last lead was at the 2-minute mark of the first half when it was 27-26 before Kentucky went on a 16-0 run. The stick back won't go by Baker. LSU had 2 chances, point-blank range, could not finish.
I like the action though, getting Enzo outside on the 3-point line and forcing him to defend on the perimeter.
Sheppard puts it on the deck, hits Reeves, great catch, and draws the foul. That was a bullet pass by Sheppard. Good hands by Reeves, and he'll go to the line where he just made 2 free throws a moment ago.
But that's the blueprint. That's what teams are going to try to do. When you have young players in the front court that are trying to defensively guard in the perimeter and pick and roll, that's where guys like Hannibal and Jordan Wright are going to have their opportunities to get into those gaps and kick out to threes and also find ways to finish at the rim.
Foul on Baker, his 3rd, 4th on LSU. Reeves now with 22 points. Well, every Thursday, a women's basketball doubleheader on SEC Network and the ESPN app. This week, the #1 team in the land, South Carolina, hosts Alabama at 7 Eastern time. Then Angel Reese, who went toe-to-toe with Jay Williams today at shoot-around.
Did she, though? She did. Yeah, she did.
It was close.
She did.
They take on Auburn. Jay won. We actually have video footage we'll show you at some point as bodies hit the floor here, and there's not going to be a foul or anything. Just a stoppage of play, but they might go to the monitor and look to see if there was a flagrant. There's Angel, most outstanding player at the Final Four last year. But I have a question for you. Would you qualify Angel Reese as great?
Oh, wow, look at you. You love to stir the pot. Yeah, I think there's levels to greatness for a lot of players.
On the court is a common foul. That plays under review.
So they did get on Yenso for the foul. Go ahead, Jay.
Once again, I stand by my thesis that we qualify greatness by winning championships. And yes, I think there are levels to greatness, and in order to be the greatest, you have to win championships, and I stand by that. We got a chance today to play a little bit of pig, and I got to tell you, I was blown away with her range from the outside. She was knocking down threes from close to half court. We were going back and forth, and you talk about a constant threat from the outside. There wasn't a shot that I made that she didn't try and that she didn't care about. She was heavily engaged.
You look worn out. Now, she's 20 years younger than you, and you weren't even running, and you look worn out, but enough there.
Well, first off, I didn't look worn out. I was knocking down shots at a high clip, okay?
So you stand, first of all, you're standing by your Caitlin Clark comment from
we were talking
weekend.
about greatest, and when I hear people talk about GOATs, right? For me, like, okay, I'm like, okay, you want to be a GOAT? Like, fine. Like, there's levels of greatness. You got to win championships to be GOATs. So when people want to don her as the greatest of all, I'm like, let's slow down. I've seen Donna Taurasi. I've seen Breanna Stewart. And you can sit there and tell me all day long, well, she's played with other great players. Okay, great. Championships. That's how we measure greatness overall.
So you're saying she's a great player, but you're not putting her in the pantheon of the greatest of all time until she wins a title.
Yes.
Okay.
That's my opinion. That's okay. I just, we qualify Tom Brady the best at winning championships.
After review, we're taking the foul off by rule.
So incidental contact is what they determined. So no foul on Yenso. Look, I understand what you're saying. I disagree. It's okay. I understand what you're saying. I think
is she the greatest of all time?
It's hard to say the greatest of all time. But I don't know that she's the greatest of all time. She's the best offensive player that I've seen.
I said that in my comment. I said she's the most prolific scorer the game of basketball potentially has ever seen.
Her range is something we have not seen in the women's game.
It's incredible, spectacular.
Reeves picks up the foul, his third. So I guess what I'm trying to help you with here
is, where are you trying to help me with?
You're saying she's great because it came off as if you're saying she wasn't great. You're saying she's great. You're just not putting her in the Brady category of the best we've ever seen. And I think that's fair. I think we need to see how this rest of the season plays out. I'm with you on that.
Okay.
I don't think that it's an outrageous comment like a lot of people felt. Well, based on how you just clarified
well, people didn't hear me when I said it's another turnover by Kentucky once again. People didn't hear words like prolific.
Yeah.
People didn't hear words like in order to be in the pantheon or into the levels of immortality.
You mean we're just going to clip 3 seconds of a 30-second comment?
That's what happens. That's
really?
Apparently what happens in the media world.
All right, back to this. Kentucky up 4. Look at this. I'm reeling you in now.
I mean, you took me down a dark path here. I'm in the alley by myself.
Here's Hannibal putting it on the deck and kicking it out. Shot clock at 10. Ward penetrates, hangs, and draws a foul on Shepard. He'll go to the line. I also understand, just to finish it. No. Because
can we talk about Kentucky LSU for a second?
But again, to try to remind people, you were, over the last 25 years, one of the best college basketball players, period.
When did you turn into Walton and when did I turn into Dave Hash?
No,
what is happening right now?
But I'm agreeing with you. If I were Bill and you were me, we'd be disagreeing. I'm agreeing with you because your standard is very high. Because, again, over the last 25 years, I can't name 5 players better than you in the college game.
Thank you.
So your standard is high. I get that. And I think, again, you've added some color commentary to your original statement that I think makes it clear what you were trying to communicate.
Well, welcome to TV when you get a little bit tripped up on your words. You meant to say greatest, when you say great, it gets blown out of work. That's fine. But Kelsey Plum was one of the greatest scorers the game has ever seen, and we still talk about winning championships, right? Like that's something that it's okay to do. That's my standard. Other people will have other standards. They can live by it, and I live by it.
Still trying to wrap my head around the fact that you're me and I'm
How did this happen to you?
LSU down 2 with possession. Up and under. Reed ties it up at 46. Kentucky's gone cold, missing 6 straight shots. LSU is stormed back to tie it up. Five and a half minutes for the Wildcats without a field goal. Shepard, the arrow, out of control, can't get it. Rebound right. 19-4, LSU runs.
Great job by LSU. Everybody going up vertically, not bailing Thiero out with a foul.
Hannibal lost. Hunter Dean gives LSU its first lead since late in the first half. This LSU team continues to fight. 3rd straight game. They've stormed back from a deficit, but Shepard with the basket. A hard foul. He ties it up and a chance at a 3-point play.
And Shepard is so dangerous getting through him. Look how he extends the ball. Look how he extends the ball, puts it out there with his left, is able to take the contact by Dean and still finish at the rim. There's a reason why Kentucky has 2 guys who have a chance to be lottery picks that are literally coming off the bench. They are energizers. They are offensive threats of a different ilk.
It wasn't really a hard foul, just a hard hit to the stanchion as Shepard collided with it. He completes the 3-point play and gives Kentucky a 1-point lead, 49-48.
If I were LSU, I would continue to run ball screens. That's where they've been able to find their way.
Williams driving into traffic, kicks it out.
What a pass.
Reed out to right. Hannibal. Shot clock down to 3. Wright has to put it up. Runner off the window. It falls off the rim. And a foul on Kentucky. How about Trey Hannibal? Smallest guy on the floor. Had 12 rebounds last game. He's got 3 blue jerseys around him. And he draws a foul trying to get the rebound.
You know, we would say this all the time on the park. There's sometimes you meet young players that aren't afraid to stick their nose in it all the time. And that's who Trey Hannibal is. It doesn't matter who's there. He's finding a way. Look, the smallest guy in there is just trying to move around people, and they called that a foul?
Don't look at the facts get in the way of a great storyline that we were
I just don't know where the foul was.
Yeah, I'm with you. I didn't see much. Hannibal shaken up. Hopefully it's just cramping.
You see it's Hannibal there from the weak side. I don't know where the foul is.
And look at the way Hannibal's looking at the official. I think he was surprised that there was a foul call. We're still waiting to get the official word as to who committed the foul for Kentucky.
Or was it just out of bounds?
I think now they're saying just out of bounds.
Standing out of bounds, okay.
Okay, so we got clarification that out of bounds off Kentucky. LSU ball, 20 on the shot clock, down 1. Wildcats right now 2 games out of first in the loss column with a big game coming up against Alabama on Saturday. Top 4 teams in the SEC get a bye in the SEC tournament. Again, Jalen Reed backing down on Yenso. And a foul called here on Edwards.
We talked
16 foul.
Jalen Reed weighing 230 pounds going against Yenso. I mean, just moving him out of the way. And we talked about Kentucky's bigs having size and that wingspan, but the way that LSU has to attack them is right through their chest. And that's what you saw Reed do, just attack the chest of Yenso.
Jalen Reed had a big game at South Carolina with 13 points. He knocks down the free throw, just his 4th point of the game. But got some intangibles that he's brought to the table tonight, especially here in the second half.
I mean, they got Reed listed at 230 pounds. They got Yenso listed at 246. I don't know if I believe that. Looking at Reed right now on the court, he's a grown man.
Very powerful and having a big impact here on the offensive end. Trey Mitchell not playing tonight, out with that shoulder injury. Reeves not on the floor. Who's going to step up offensively? Maybe it'll be Dillingham. Drives and kicks it out. Here's Wagner. 3 won't fall. LSU rebound. Wagner still without a point. He averages 11 per game. And he's missed his last 11 threes. And a foul here on the reach-in by Edwards. That's 17 fouls on Kentucky. LSU will have 2 free throws when we come back. A 1-point lead for the Tigers over number 17. Back to take the lead. Meanwhile, it's meeting number 197 between North Carolina and Virginia. Now, I do some games at J.J. Redick. Yeah. Don't worry, I'm not going there.
Okay, thank you.
But when he talks about North Carolina, he doesn't have a hatred for them. Do you?
For North Carolina?
Yeah.
Well, when I played, of course.
Okay.
I hate everybody when I play.
But now?
No, there's an affinity. I like the way Hubert Davis and their team play. I mean, it's one of the fastest paces in the country. I think Kentucky's fast. You should see North Carolina. And R.J. Davis is one of the most gifted guards there is in the country. So that's going to be a contrast of styles. Obviously, Virginia is like a boa constrictor with how they take the air out of the ball and value possession. So who imposes their will first will ultimately determine the winner of that.
You mentioned Hubert. One-time colleague of ours at ESPN, was an excellent analyst, whether it was on games or on College Game Day, a seat that you now occupy as Wright gets the free throw. One more coming.
He destroyed you in the game of horse, I heard, as well.
Yes, he did. Yeah. If you want to play horse with your broadcast partner, Hubert Davis is the wrong guy to play against. Although watching you today, I'm glad I sat that one out with you and Angel. Great hands by Wright, getting the steal. Shepard trailing, and he knocked the ball away, but a foul. Back to the free throw line goes Jordan Wright.
It's just the active hands by LSU. They're everywhere. They're involved in the play. It's just a hard pass. Try to pass it to his right outside hand, and Wright just got in there. I love the hustle by Shepard to get back and not allow an easy bucket there.
So Jordan Wright transfer from Vanderbilt. Boy, Matt McMahon raved about his growth. Missing a potential game-tying shot against Florida, but coming back and basically winning the game against South Carolina. Outstanding night tonight for LSU, even though he just missed that first free throw.
Almost airballed. I'm glad he rubbed his hands on his shorts. Every hooper knows that when you airball a ball, it's always because your hands were super wet. It's always the excuse. By the way, Rob Dillingham out here in this game only has 2 points, but he averages around 15 per game.
Sweaty hands for both Dillingham and Wagner. Yes. Long pass, and Ward tried to save it. It pinballs to Shepard. And McMahon really upset with his team, ruining that opportunity in transition. The three in and out for Reeves. And one and done almost every possession now for Kentucky.
That's where Jordan Wright's going to have a field day. They're going to switch on that. You got the post up with Dean down low, and you got the mismatch.
Here's a three from Ward that's way off. Kentucky ball. Kentucky won for its last 11. They have 7 second chance points. That's it. And they turn it over. Dillingham trying to hit Reeves.
You know, the first half it was LSU being careless with the ball, and now you're seeing Kentucky have a plethora of turnovers here, and just by active hands. I mean, just as telegraph pass. I don't know if that's that. See, that may not have been off Antonio Reeves. That should be Kentucky basketball.
5 turnovers, though, by Kentucky. 1 by LSU in the second half. Again, Reed penetrates and scores. Lead up to 5 for LSU. They trailed by 15 early in the second half. So in less than 10 minutes, it's a 20-point swing. Dillingham drives, finishes. Finally on the board with his second field goal. No points still for DJ Wagner. And Dillingham averaging about 16 per game in conference games. And a foul. There wasn't a lot of contact. Dillingham saying he was held by Williams coming around the screen. Instead commits the foul, his first, and it'll be a 1-and-1, 19 foul.
A good job right here curling by Dillingham and keeping Wright on his outside hip and then finishing with the left hand. And this is the drive here by Jalen Reed. I think he got away with a little push-off right there with the left hand. That could have been called for an offensive foul.
A 1-and-1. Mike Williams, 70% free throw shooter.
So Rob Dillingham, Dave, was absolutely right on this last play. It's a veteran move by a young player, Williams. He wrapped up Dillingham's arms. You know, one of those old NBA moves you see where the arm's out, you just wrap your hands up around it and kind of throw your body up in the air. That's how you get refs to make those calls.
Lead back to 5, matching the largest for LSU tonight. Dillingham is fouled, colliding with Williams, who is out of control. That's the 17th foul on LSU, so a 1-and-1. Check that 6th team foul, so still not in the bonus. First foul on Williams. Kentucky 8-4 in league play. Dillingham's three is good. First three-pointer for Dillingham, who's 4th in the SEC in threes.
Hunter Dean has to be up on those ball screens. Wow.
Rejection by, they're going to count it though. Goaltending on Thiero is a late call, but count the basket. John Calipari very upset about the call. They're going to look at it during the next opportunity.
See if the ball hits the glass.
Because it was called on the floor, you can review it. That looks clean.
That is a clean block.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think they overturn that when they have a chance to go look at it.
That is a big-time block by Thiero. Right there, once again coming from the weak side.
Shepard. Thiero. Short on the three. And no second chance opportunities. Good to see Hannibal back out there. He's shaken up earlier. Both teams 7 of 17 from 3. 4-point advantage for LSU. Trying to beat a ranked team for the second straight game. They won 2 games in the league all of last year. Dean with a kick out. Reed driving. And a Kentucky foul. That's 10 team fouls. Reed will shoot 2. And they get Dillingham for his second personal. So back to the line goes Jalen Reed. 3 of 4 at the line tonight. 62% on the year.
LSU just being the aggressor defensively and not settling down. That's how they got themselves back in the ballgame against South Carolina. Just kept finding themselves in the paint and off dribble penetration, making shots at the rim.
2 of the top teams of the Pac-12 highlight our ESPN Women's Basketball Thursday primetime matchup with number 12 UCLA taking on 18th ranked Utah. Coverage starts 9:30 Eastern, 6:30 out in Westwood. One more free throw for Reed. And the lead back to 5 for LSU. Again, they still have that goaltending call to look at. It might cost LSU 2 points. Here's Reeves, 23 points. Poked away, but a foul called on Hannibal.
Still, I mean, Hannibal is just everywhere defensively. They able to get in that gap to stop that drive by Reed. You see Reeves comes here and he gets his hand in there. It's
not a foul, at least not with the left hand, maybe with the right.
I think it was on the right hand. Yeah. It was the right hand that initiated the contact that was on the inside screen that viewers couldn't see. The left hand strip was clean, but it was the right hand foul. It's the right call.
Second foul on Hannibal, 17 fouls, so Reeves at the line for a 1-and-1. Point number 1,000 at Kentucky for Antonio Reeves. Been a lot of players over the years to reach that total at Kentucky, but because of all the great young players that John Calipari has had that didn't stay long enough to get 1,000 points, he's just the 6th under Coach Cal, and he's up to 25 for the game. Another great night for Antonio Reeves, candidate for SEC Player of the Year, candidate for National Player of the Year. And back to a 3-point game, nearing the 8-minute mark. Reed puts it on the deck again, attacking, missing. Baker lost it, gathers, stripped. Nice play, Dillingham. And then look at the speed of Dillingham going the length of the floor. And an LSU foul. There was some contact.
Is he a blur or what? I mean, he had Reed down the middle of the lane, but he just had his eyes fixated on the rim, and just look how quickly he gets the ball down the court.
Yeah, clearly a foul on Reed. His first 18 foul in the act, so 2 shots for Dillingham.
And Dave, when I see a big backpedaling, that's my best time to attack you off the dribble. Because now you have to react to which way I can go, left or right, and find. And he has such acrobatic ways of finishing at the rim. It just puts the defense on their heels.
Is that something innate, or does that come with reps and time and recognition?
I think that's innate talent for him. I think his game still can be refined to so many different degrees. I mean, the sky is the limit for this young man.
He'll get a breather here.
Or as MJ said, the roof is the ceiling for him.
You definitely don't hate North Carolina if you're quoting North Carolina guys.
I mean, it's a legendary quote. It's Michael Jordan.
59-58, LSU by 1. Wright kicks it out to Reed. Again, driving. That's been the story for LSU. Reed just taking it downhill against the Kentucky D. Dillingham penetrates. Can't finish.
Great defense by Reed. That's how you stay vertical.
Got it ahead to Wright. That's a goaltend. Count the basket for Hannibal. LSU getting out and running.
You talk about an atmosphere. You talk about Jalen Reed coming down the pipe, finishing strong. LSU with a big
We have two
lead.
goaltending plays to review.
So Trey Hannibal continuing to get looked at. Don't want to assume, but a lot of times this is what you'll see with a guy who's cramping. By the way, they took away a basket. So this play, which we thought at the time looked like a good block, was ruled goaltending. By new rule now, you can go look at this during a break, and they did overturned it because it was called goaltending on the floor. You can look at that, take 2 points off the board for LSU, so it's a 3-point lead. The resolve of LSU, though, you give up 16 straight points to an offensive machine in Kentucky, yet you fight back in 10 minutes. It's not like it took an entire half for this to happen. Maybe even less than 10 minutes, maybe 7 or 8 by the time LSU had the lead back. And it's been 3 to 5 point advantage for them here the last few minutes. Here's Dillingham driving, finishing off the window. Sweet move that time by Rob Dillingham.
He's found ways using that left hand, getting to that side of the rim the last 6 or 7 times.
The difference for LSU in the second half has been getting points in the paint, and it's Jalen Reed a lot of times doing the damage. 18 paint points.
Got a mismatch. They missed it.
To 10 in the first half. Shot clock at 5. Williams penetrates, hangs, missed the shot. Tip won't go, and rebounded by Kentucky's Bradshaw.
And Dillingham is just starting to feel it, you can tell.
Was quiet, was stuck on 2 points for the longest time, but now has 11. Looking to drive here. Gives it up. Got it back, though. Stayed with it after Ward got the deflection. Shot clock at 8.
ISO. Cal just told him, you go score.
Dillingham, step back 3. Off the mark. LSU ball with a 1-point lead. 6 minutes to play. A lot at stake for Kentucky. Seeding, Joe Lunardi right now has them as a 5. Still a chance to win the regular season crown. They're 2 back in the loss column, and they play Alabama Saturday. Baker puts it on the floor. Again attacking and scoring. Wonder if Matt McMahon said at halftime, hey guys, we talked about this at shoot-around. We got to go at these bigs. And a timeout by Kentucky.
A great job recognizing by Will Baker. Just being able to, they thought it was going to be a dribble handoff. He decided to keep it himself and finish strong with the left hand. I'm going to tell you, you talk about fights all the time, bro. It's hard to win on the road, and Kentucky is trying to give it a fight.
Our McDonald's All-American Spotlight. Reed Sheppard has had an outstanding season. Tonight, a factor on the defensive end with 3 steals. They all came in the first half. 7 points, been quiet on the offensive end. John Calipari told us today he was concerned about, would Kentucky match the physicality of LSU? We saw Kentucky be physical at Auburn and win that game, holding in the 59 points. But LSU's been very aggressive, going right at the front court players for the Wildcats.
Kentucky's going to have to value the ball down the stretch in order to win this game.
They've been turning it over a lot here in the second half. Shot clock at 4. Here's Sheppard with 2. Pull-up jumper. And the putback slam, Thiero. Kentucky back within 1 after John Calipari called the timeout, leaving him with 1 for the final 5 minutes of the game. Ward around the screen. Gives it up to the corner. Here's Williams for 3. LSU 4 of 7 from 3 in the second half. Made 4 in the entire first half as Sheppard turns it over.
Mike Williams was a big-time 3 as a freshman, knocking it down at 16 points against Alabama. They came a little bit off him on the weak side, and he just caught that thing with complete confidence to knock it down.
13 turnovers now for Kentucky. Here's Wright driving. Oh, he missed the layup. Rebound, Rees, 5-on-4 for Kentucky, with Wright still on the other end. Dillingham penetrates, squeaks between 2 defenders and lays it in.
Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? That little guy finding a way to finish in between those trees.
That's 13 now for the freshman from Hickory, North Carolina, pulling Kentucky within 2. 4 minutes to play.
It's going to come down to their defense for Kentucky. Can they get stops?
Reed, nice cut. Great block by Thiero. Loose ball. Stays with LSU. Shot clock at 6. Ward missed it. Reed kept it alive. Williams hit a 3 a moment ago. Settles things down.
Very smart play.
Didn't force it. Looks to drive again, going at Onyenso, and another Kentucky foul. LSU, for the 3rd straight game, a double-digit comeback. They were able to complete it with a win at South Carolina. Can they do it again tonight at home against Kentucky? They lead the Wildcats by 2 late in Baton Rouge.
On that, after we finish up a good one in Baton Rouge. Dave and Jay, back to you.
All right, Scott, LSU up 2. Trey Hannibal's back on the bench, so that's a good sign for the Tigers, but not out there yet with Mike Williams, who's on the floor for Hannibal at the line.
Yeah, Mike Williams able to knock down a big-time 3 and found a way to get to the rim for 2 free throws here, but they're going to need Trey Hannibal down the stretch. His defensive IQ, his ability to get his hands, poke, get those steals, and also his playmaking ability offensively makes the game easier for Jordan Wright to get off offensively as well.
LSU has missed 8 free throws in this game. 1 out of 2 for Williams. So Hannibal back on the floor with 3:35 to go and his team up 3.
Now you have 2 ball handlers, 2 guys that can play off ball screens, that can finish at the rim with Hannibal and Wright.
Just showed you that not only have they missed 8, they've taken 14 more free throws than Kentucky. The Wildcats didn't even get an attempt in the first half. Dillingham leaves it for Reeves, who's had a great night. Floater blocked, and it's LSU ball.
Reeves thought he got fouled and got hit on the elbow. Got to play through the contact.
I thought he did as well.
I thought he did as well.
Obviously no call. LSU ball with a 3-point lead. LSU's largest lead has been 5. Kentucky was up 15 if you're just joining us early in the second half after a 16-0 run. Shot clock down to 3. Here's Wright with 2. Has to put it up. Long rebound. Onyenso, Kentucky ball down 3 with 2.5 left.
Kentucky's going to switch that action. Wright's going to have to go a lot faster.
Dillingham off the bounce.
Wow.
Hits a deep 2. Kentucky back within 1. They'll look at this to make sure that his foot was on the line.
I'm going to tell you, I thought Rob Dillingham got fouled on that 3 shot as well.
That's what he's saying to the official also.
You're going to see that replay when he comes off that one. Oh, what a big-time shot. Calling for the ball screen.
Calling the court is a 2-point shot. That play's under review.
Looked like a 3. Now, there was contact on the follow-through. They may have just felt that. No,
that's a 3.
Definitely foot behind the line.
That's a 3.
And
that foot is well behind the line. That's a 3.
And to your point, there was some contact on the follow-through. So that should get changed, and then the game would be tied at 67.
I mean, how about him and Dillingham having 2 points in the first half, and now all of a sudden waking up offensively, scoring 14 points in the second half, and just a prolific score. I mean, the way he can score in spurts reminds me a little bit of Ben Gordon. He has that herky-jerky style to him, east to west, that is really hard, and he has so much elevation on his shot as well. Just one of the most lethal scorers in the game of college basketball today.
And give him a ton of credit, too, because there are so many players today of his stature that if they're not starting, they're complaining or looking to transfer. This guy's going to be a top 10, maybe top 5 pick. He started 1 game, and we talked to him about it today. He said, look, I was surprised at the beginning of the year when I wasn't starting, but I'm good with it. I want to win. I want to get better. Said all the right things, and really impressive young man.
I try to tell young players all the time, who cares who starts? It's about who finishes the game. And Rob Dillingham is on the court to finish this game. I guarantee you that.
We are tied at 67. Right, stops.
Great job by Onyenso to stay down and discipline.
Reed driving again.
Wow.
Got it
what?
up and in over the outstretched arm of Onyenso to give LSU a 2-point lead. He had 1 point at halftime. He's been the LSU offense in the second half. Dillingham fouled. That's 9 team fouls on LSU. It'll be a 1-and-1.
Pass. I'm always going to keep it a buck. I don't think Reed even thought this ball had a chance to go in. I mean, first, what a hero step. He throws it up. I mean, what a shot. What a shot. Step through there, avoid, takes on the contact from Thiero on the backside, but avoids Onyenso. What degree of difficulty is 25 on that?
At 13 against South Carolina, as Dillingham gets the first 12 points tonight for Reed, 11 in the second half.
What you're liking from Dillingham in this game so far is shots that I saw him take against Auburn. He faded to the left on free throws and a lot of things. You're seeing him go straight up and straight down. When he's a balanced player, that is when he's at his best.
Had just 1 basket in the first half, 15 points, 5 field goals in the second half. Tie game at 69 apiece. Inside 2 minutes to go. Huge game for Kentucky, trying to keep SEC title hopes alive.
Give it to him on the block.
Trying to build on the momentum of a big win at Auburn. They've got Alabama on Saturday. Reed drive and kick. Shot clock at 5. Hannibal kicks it out. Good look. Baker hit the 3. The 7-footer's an excellent shooter. He drills a triple. LSU up 3 with 1:15 to go. Dillingham drive and kick. Gets it back.
Wow.
Has it rejected. Ward swats it out of play.
I told you Trey Hannibal was going to be critical in this game down the stretch. Backing Reeves down the pass to Baker, who is a 38% three-point shooter. And it doesn't allow Kentucky to sit in the paint. And Ward with a big-time block, using that size and that wingspan on the smaller guard.
Reeves catch and shoot, missed it. Reed with the rebound for LSU. Are they going to call a foul? Yes. Wasn't sure if they'd call a held ball or a foul. It's a foul on Kentucky. The possession arrow favored LSU anyway, but with the foul, you got 2 free throws for the Tigers.
Said before, they have him listed at 226, but he's playing like he's 250 right now.
They call the foul on Shepard his 3rd, and Reed 62% at the line, 4 of 6 tonight, trying to extend the lead. It's at 3 right now, just outside a minute to play.
I like the move by Matt McMahon to put Terrell Ward, who's 6'6", with a 7-foot wingspan on the likes of Rob Dillingham, and that's something that Dillingham's going to have to see at the next level. Tall, long defenders that can play off of you but still block your shot late if they contest.
Another miss, the 9th for LSU at the line.
You think they know about winning big games? You think Angel Reese knows about winning big games?
She also knows what loses close games.
Yes, she does.
Missed free throws. And Reed, that hit the top of the backboard. It didn't go over, and it somehow goes in. It pushes the lead to 4. Dillingham doesn't have to be in a hurry. Gets downhill, hangs.
Ooh.
Oh, what a finish!
Oh, my goodness!
Dillingham hung in the air. Had some English. High off the window and in.
Hallelujah. Are you kidding me? I mean, first the rip through over the top to finish through the crowd with the English off the glass. Tell him, Dillingham, he is him.
4th foul on Baker. 18 second half points for Dillingham, the outstanding freshman, trying to complete the 3-point play and get Kentucky within 1. Calmly drills the foul shot. Kentucky is 12 of 12 at the stripe. It's a 1-point game.
What a game.
About a 22-second difference in the game and shot clocks. Wright just going to pound it into the deck at midcourt.
Got to score here. You have to score here if you're LSU.
And a
smart timeout.
We're going to leave LSU with 1. So each coach has 1 timeout remaining, 12 to shoot for LSU.
So you have to score right now if you're LSU. I know your defense has been decent, but Rob Dillingham is on an absolute tear. I would not want to give Kentucky a shot down the stretch to win this in regulation.
So, Jay, what's worked for LSU in the second half has been Jalen Reed attacking. Is this what you're doing here, or do you want to put it in the hands of Hannibal?
I think you put it in the hands of Hannibal or Jordan Wright in the ball screen. Kentucky's been switching on ball screens. If they switch, they have those mismatches with likes of Will Baker down low. You can play inside out off of that and attack the mismatch. I think that's what you have to do right now. You have to get some quick action to Wright, because he's been incredible getting to the lane off a pick and roll. That is the kryptonite ultimately for Kentucky's defense. Getting on Yinsu, getting their bigs in pick and roll action. How those bigs defend, if those hard hedges or if they're blitzing. You might see Cal change it up defensively, though, which may not be bad.
We've had 11 lead changes in this game and some wild swings. Kentucky was down 1 with 2 minutes to go in the first half. Scored the next 16 points to open up a 15-point lead, which then was erased in about a 6-minute span by LSU.
Okay, so you saw 2 games against Florida. They erased a 20-point lead. Who had the shot down the stretch? Jordan Wright. Yep. You saw the last 7 points scored in their last win against South Carolina. Who had the ball down the stretch? Jordan Wright.
And here
Same
comes,
now.
Yep, right.
Here comes the ball screen.
Going to come from Baker. Wright keeps the dribble. Drive. Strip.
What hands.
Great play by Thiero. Kentucky has a timeout. Will John Calipari call it or not? Doesn't look like he will, and now he's going to signal for it. 20.8 seconds remaining. Kentucky's out of timeouts. A chance to win the game on the road with the final shot.
When you talk about Adu Thiero defensively, actually they had miscommunication first on here. He stayed down, but having active hands. And that, I try to tell you, what did we talk about? Players cradling the ball. Jordan Wright, when you gain momentum, look how he brings the ball back to Thiero. He brings it back to him to try to gain his momentum. They got to keep the ball in front of you. They can't bring the ball back to the defender. And Thiero with great hands to rip that ball away.
The Kentucky defense, which was so good against Auburn, huge here on that possession in half court, and now a chance to win the game. If you're John Calipari, where are you going here?
It's not even a question.
Dillingham.
I'm going to Dillingham. And by the way, I'm going to drive Dillingham on the side of Antonio Reeves and say, hey, I'm going to get you on some kind of pin down action into a ball screen or an ISO, and I'm going to allow you to drive because you cannot afford to help. You talk about Reed Shepherd's guy shooting 51% from the three-point line. Antonio Reeves, the guy shooting around 46% from the three-point line. You can't afford to leave those guys, which leaves Dillingham in the ISO situation.
Rob Dillingham had just 2 points at halftime. In the second half, he has been the guy for Kentucky with 19, including that brilliant three-point play a couple of possessions ago.
I mean, Dave, you know this because you call so many pro games and from playing. It's rare that you see smaller guys 6'2", 6'2 and a half, his size, be able to finish like that amongst the trees. Most smaller guards stop short, shoot mid-range shots or floaters, but he has such great finishing ability around the rim and shot making. I'm not going to say nobody's like Kyrie Irving, but there are certain Englishes that he's able to use around the rim that kind of remind me of him to a degree.
They're going to have Shepherd inbound the ball, and they're going to start Dillingham on the low block on the far side of the court. Now he'll come get it. 15 seconds remaining. Being defended by Ward. Dillingham jumper. Got it! Kentucky takes the lead. LSU has a timeout. They're not going to use it. 7 seconds to go. Here goes Wright with 5. Wright with 3. Driving. Has it blocked. Gets it back. The shot. Good! Tyrell Ward puts it in on a broken play. And LSU wins it. 75-74. Angel Reese celebrating with Tyrell Ward on a game winner.
Didn't we talk today about if LSU has the right protocol?
The last shot is under review
for a court storming.
And how about Tyrell Ward? Jordan Wright kept it in play after it got blocked. Ward caught it got rid of it in time. It appeared live. They're going to look at it to confirm to give LSU the win.
I think he got it off. I mean, the ball goes up. Yeah, that's good.
What a smart play by Wright, huh?
I mean, just Wright gets the shot blocked, but then lobs it up at the rim for Terrell Ward to make the play down the stretch. And now we talk about back-to-back top 20 wins for a team last year that finished at the bottom of the SEC.
And maybe we need to start talking about LSU being on the NCAA tournament bubble. Yeah, they're under 500, but they're in arguably the best league in the country, either the SEC or the Big 12. They've beat ranked teams back-to-back games. They still have a handful of games left, and they almost beat Florida 2 games ago. They've been a different team the last few weeks.
Coming off 7 games on the road, 4 of their last 6 are at home. I mean, what an incredible staple win for Matt McMahon and the LSU Tigers. Back-to-back top 20 wins. Wow.
Rob Dillingham gave Kentucky a 1-point lead. Great defense to get the block shot on Wright.
Well, how serendipitous is this? Terrell Ward is the one guarding Rob Dillingham, and that is an NBA shot. That is a big-time clutch shot. And then offensively, Wright to get his shot blocked. The arrow couldn't grab his hands on it. And Terrell Ward is the recipient and knocks down the bucket to close out a huge win at home. The staple win for Matt McMahon in his young career here with the LSU Tigers.
And Matt having fun with the students taking selfies. What a game. LSU knocks off Kentucky 75-74. For Jay Williams, our entire crew, I'm Dave Pasch. Scott Van Pelt will have highlights of this game and so many great finishes in college basketball, and a whole lot more to talk about. The resumption of NBA action tomorrow as well. Scott Van Pelt, SportsCenter next.